I'm Avery, and I'm from the University of Vermont.
I'm Emily, I'm from Boise State University.
I'm Jack, I'm from Illinois State University.
I'm Noelle, I'm from James Madison University.
I'm Katie, I'm from Ohio State University.
I'm AJ, I'm from University of Hawaii.
And welcome to Area 2000.
This area overall is a graveyard located on the north side of the church. We've split it up, or I guess in previous years they split it up into two different sections. Right now we're standing in section B. On the west side of this wall is section A, and then a little further is just the western expansion. The cemetery was really used during three major time periods. The latest time, or I guess the most recent time, I guess, was probably around in the 19th century, and that was mostly it. The graves were found everywhere within this site. And then the most interesting one, the most famous one, I guess you could say, is located within sector B right here, because it was a cholera cemetery during the cholera epidemic around 1855 or so. But this area also held a juvenile cemetery as well over here. The latest period was the medieval period, and all of those graves are oriented east-west to welcome the rising sun. And we know that because of relative dating from the wall. This wall right here, there has been found in previous years skeletons buried underneath it, and so we know by relative dating that the wall had to come after that skeletal burial, and we know when the wall was built. So it has to be around the medieval period.
So we've been working on the western expansion of 2000A, and in that area we're working on basically early 19th century. So it's going to be post-cholera epidemic, and it's kind of a bit of a mess. We get a lot of half skeletons, so a lot of just lower appendicular or upper appendicular, because a lot of the burials are kind of crisscrossing each other. So as they were all being dug, which was all around the same period, because they're like 5 centimeters apart stratigraphy, so they like cutting each other, and so like as they were burying, they found another skeleton. They're like, throw that one aside and dig that. Oftentimes they were actually fleshy, which is why a lot of it's still articulated, even if they moved them to a different burial site.
We also found some grave goods, which included rosary beads that they would hold around their pelvis area, and then also we found a shroud pin that was located with a mostly articulated skeleton. It was almost a full skeleton. The head was excavated the year before, and it also had a shroud pin as well attached to it, and there was also evidence of a wooden coffin with one of them.
On one of the skeletons in Area A in the western expansion, a pendant was found actually in the pelvis region, so it was probably on the wrist when they were buried.
Holding. We found evidence of a shroud burial where like shoulders and pelvis would be kind of on top of each other, showing evidence of a shroud. Also, we have found a juvenile, an infant of only maybe a few days old.
Yeah.
And that actually, there's evidence that it probably had like a chain or something, because there's the green coloration of where that chain deteriorated.
There was also a button found in the pelvis region of the infant, which indicates possibly a belt was on it.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, when we started in this area, just in our year over in the western expansion, all of the graves are located very, very closely to each other, within about 5 centimeters. And we think that's because of when the church and the cemetery over there was built around 1860 or so, there used to be a hill right here where all the graves were buried under, but then it got leveled for the road that we see on the side. That's why all of the skeletons are like on the same level with one another. The goal overall for this season one of the goals is to finish up excavations in section B,
And get down to the medieval layer in section A.
Thank
Thank you.